A Caapid applicant who's applying to 2025 cycle. This video is regarding letter of recommendation, just to update you regarding something new that I got to hear and discuss with the candidates that I'm working with. If you don't know who I am, my name is Adriel William, and I'm a foreign trained dentist just like you. I graduated from University of Colorado back in 2022 December, but I've been working as a Caapid coach since 2020. Over the past 5 years, worked with about 1,000 students up till now, and I've been making videos since the past 5 years, and I wanted to update you regarding letter of recommendation. So in the past, I've usually told people that when you're uploading your 3 letter of recommendation, get one from your like your dean back home, and try to get more letters from dentists in US because it makes your profile look more solid. But recently I got to learn that schools like Upenn and Boston actually are very, very strict about 2 of those letter of recommendation should come from your faculty back home, whether it's India, Pakistan, whether it's Cuba, Turkey, or wherever you're coming from. So I had candidates just like me. I did a master's in US, and there are candidates that I work with who did masters. Some of them went to Harvard, which is a very big thing. And now when I'm discussing with them, I tell, if I was you, back when I was doing, I got my 1 letter from my dean, who was also my oral and maxillofacial surgery uh, supervisor, and 1 letter from my master's professor, and then one from the dentist that I shadowed. So when I talk to my candidates, I tell them, like, do the same thing. Get 1 letter from your Harvard professor or wherever you did masters from. But the downside of that is, if you do that, your application won't be approved or entertained when you apply to Boston or Upenn. And that's a hard call. Now, if you're very much dedicated to applying to schools like Boston and Upenn, maybe getting 2 letter of recommendation from your faculty back home and uploading would be the better choice. But personally, I felt like my master's in US was a big step milestone in my life where I worked hard. It was a big thing, and I wanted to tell the dentist schools about this milestone, and I wanted to put a letter of recommendation from there. And actually, my faculty who was the professor from my MHA was also the CFO of Mission of Mercy. So he actually wrote down my letter on a letterhead of Mission of Mercy. So I was killing 2 birds with 1 stone, for the lack of better term, but that's what I was doing. So for me, it was very important. Now, when you're going to be picking your evaluators, you want to be careful. If you're applying to these schools and you want to go by the book, pick 2 faculty from back home. I wasn't satisfied doing it because being like I personally think if I've done something remarkable or something important in US, I want to highlight it, I want to talk about it, and I want to have a faculty mention about it or a professor mention about it. But again, if you do that, if you go that route, that's the downside would be that you won't be entertained in schools like Boston and Upenn. Now, on the other hand, if you apply to Indiana wants 1 letter from a person or a place where you have done community work. Now, I'm going to give you a very important tip regarding Caapid cycle in 2025 when you're writing your supplemental applications. And before I do that, I want you to hit the like button. I want you to write something in the comment. Write if this is your first cycle or second cycle, or you could even write what's the next topic you want me to cover, and subscribe to the channel. And the important thing I will tell you is that back when I was applying in 2019, at that time there were about 800 to 1,000 applicants who were applying to Caapid. But now I got to learn that last year there were about 1,600 applicants applying to Caapid. And I think one of the biggest reason is there's a lot of immigrants who came to Canada and they are applying from Canada now. And these people wouldn't have been able to apply from back India or Albania or Pakistan, but now they are able to because they are now Canadians. And that has increase the number of applicants, and what is happening to the schools and to myself as well, that there is a flood of applicants. They have a lot of people applying and the number of seats are limited, so they get overwhelmed. And once March 6 start, they will be overwhelmed with 1600 application, and every application has a personal statement, has letter of recommendation, resumes, supplemental applications, Caapid application, and there's going to be piles of things that they have to read through and then select a candidate. Why am I telling you this? The important part is, if you're a smart applicant, if you're intelligent enough, and if you know there's going to be so many people applying, and just imagine if you were working in the dental school and you were part of the admission committee. Trust me, nobody likes to be in a job where you're overwhelmed. So imagine about those people. And now think, if you are a smart person, when you're filling in your Caapid application, when you're filling your supplemental application, try to make sure that you be very brief. By brief, what I mean is that don't try to overwrite, don't try to put in fillers in your sentences. Try to be very precise, straightforward. For example, somebody messaged me, can I write something in achievements? I said, do you have an achievement? They said, no. I said, leave it blank. Do not put irrelevant things just to fill up spaces. My implant professor, where I go for training, he teaches us sinus lift, and he says the biggest problem with dentists is wherever they see a hole, they try to fill it, whether it's even a sinus. So in the same way, what I've seen in Caapid, whenever people see an empty gap of 1500 characters, they will try to push in words that are irrelevant, doesn't make sense, but they will keep writing it and try to drag it to look smart. But you won't look smart. At this time, if you are communicating with American staff, American faculty, be precise, be brief, and be straight to the point. Respect the other person's time, and they will like you more. And I would definitely suggest keep this in your mind, and hopefully I'll see you in a better video next time. And I'm actually doing a session, will upload that regarding Q&A session regarding Caapid. And if you want to stay updated, follow me on Instagram and subscribe to this channel, and hopefully I'll get more videos to you. Thank you.